Welcome. The attempt of my life has left me scarred and deformed.
I can't do it, Johnny. I can't. It's too much, everybody. It's too much. So this is our show for the day. Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, people who showed up. It's been interesting, but peace out.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Whoops. It's a Not Safe for Work podcast, Jana. Did you know?
I didn't do it this time. It was all you. Oh my gosh, my smokes are green. Damn it.
This week, bless all of our hearts, everybody. Jana, slap me with the chat. Right in the face.
Right in the face.
Mushroom stamp. Do it.
Mushroom stamp. Okay. Creative Reptiles is here. Forward Motion Reptiles. Aurelio. Bree from Smoky Mountains. Jana King is here. Multiplayer Morphs. 905 Royals. Lisa. Texas Kid. Golems Demons.
No.
Super Snake Syndicates. Boza, Sierra Scales, Rising Phoenix, Talon Hawkins. Is he new too?
Sure. Hi, Talon.
Oh, am I supposed to be hitting them on this, putting them on the screen?
Yeah, probably, but
we'll put Lady Tiz up there. Hey, girl. Hang on, they're just chatting amongst themselves.
I know, that's fine. We didn't do a shout out last week, and we barely did one
Richard.
Fuck it. We're just here talking.
Morph Wizards. Reptifari. John Feely. Yo, how's it going? Sphera Serpentis. Straight Blast Pythons. Oh, I just pushed it all the way to the bottom. Rude.
She's drunk, everybody.
Totally drunk at 10 a.m. Chakra Scales. I think you're new too.
What's up, everybody?
Marissa. Oh, there's John Feely again. Oh, Powerhouse. That's a sponsor, and I'm wearing his shirt.
Wow, you did it.
And for some reason, the green screen makes it actually like lightning. Look.
Whoa.
It's a badass shirt in a green screen. Just let
Chidori.
you guys know. Yosemite.
Yosemite? Is it spelled like Yosemite? Yes. Okay. We can go with you. Yosemite. It's okay. Keep going.
DTMG Pythons.
Hi.
I already say tradesman, bohemian. I think I got all of you.
All right. Beautiful people. Thank you for coming to episode.
Who knows? 72.
72.
Okay. Yes.
All right, Jana. I think that we have a code for RAL. What do you think about that situation?
I think shit happens.
Tell me about this code, Jana. You're good at it.
I'm so good at it. So we talked to Ral and said, we need something. Love us. And they gave us shit happens because that's just
which
how
is
we roll
true
over here.
Yeah.
So you can have $5 off a crypto panel. And this code does not expire, so you can use it. It's on each crypto panel you do, no matter how many you do.
What a bargain.
What a bargain. There's also some other codes that are still active, like Pack 10. If you do the shit happens hashtag anywhere on your printed out lab sheet, do not send a bag of shit or we'll get shit on. Okay. Or he'll just forward it to us. Do not do
I'm
this.
really close, so he could lob it here with a trebuchet.
And then I'll be like, shit her house instead of egg her house. She would just get it right in the window. Okay. So swab the shit. Don't send the bag of shit. Just so we can continue to have a good relationship with them. And in the future, we can get more codes,
other ones,
better codes, cool codes, relevant codes. We just want to keep this relationship. So make sure you're doing it correctly. If you have any questions, you can talk to Ral. You can talk to one of us. You can go on the testing Discord. If you need the link to that, it's invite only. Hit up me or Jessica.
No narcs.
No narcs. Don't join it if you're just going to be a bee.
Unless you're naturally a bee, and then that's fine. All right, Jana, I think we also have sponsors, which is weird. Jub's here.
Jub's here. Small Town Exotics. If you are looking for a snake, he has some listed on Morph Market. So check it out. See if he's got what you want. If you want to see more of his face, he's also got a YouTube. And he is sponsoring us along with a number of other podcasts. So he's a big supporter of all podcasts. And he has a show coming up, doesn't he?
Tinley.
Yeah, he's going to be at Tinley. So if you're going to Tinley, make sure you stop and say hi and say we sent you, because we're the coolest podcast that he sponsors, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly. And Powerhouse, I kind of already shouted him out, wearing his cool shirt today. Thanks for the merch.
Hell yeah.
Woo! Anyway, he is going to be the new Pacific Northwest. Oh, I effed up my camera, guys.
Oh, no.
He's going to be the new Pacific Northwest Go for Cocoa for Mutation Creation distributor. And I can't wait. He's supposed to get that sometime this month. And I am going to be testing it out and letting you know how it compares. I have tried Cocoa Blocks and Reptichip. So I will probably do like a side-by-side shot of all three of those together so we can see. And I'll let you know what I think.
Oh, the big screen. Disgusting. You don't have to see us too much.
You're going to see all the... Don't look too close, guys. I have zits.
All right, what about Stoneage? Where's he at?
Stoneage. He's not here this morning. He's probably working, but he has a giveaway still. If you haven't seen any of our previous episodes, he has a ball python account that went viral and has like 200,000 follows. And so he's been doing a lot of viral videos and things like that, and feels like it's kind of gotten away from his ball python business. So he started a new ball python only centered Instagram, and he's trying to move his ball python people from his viral Instagram over to his ball python only one. And so if you go and you follow him on his new page, once he hits 1,300, he's going to do a giveaway for the sensor push. He's at about 750 right now, so he's kind of stalled out. So if you haven't done that, please make sure you go and do that for him so we can get him up to 1,300. And thank you for sponsoring us, Stoneage. He is also a local guy to me, because Jessica left.
I left forever. Oh my God. Can I speak of Oklahoma? I saw the biggest, I'm just going to call them a herd of sandhill cranes a couple weeks ago. And I was so pumped, and nobody cares.
Did you take a picture?
No, we were just driving by, and I'm like, let's ride them. Let's go. Let's just get on there.
Picture or it didn't happen.
And coming back from the FedEx, I saw tundra swans, like just parked in a little pond because it's a flyover. And I was like, premium being in flyover time. So I am in. I am sold on Oklahoma now. Thank God. But this week is supposed to be like 90 or 85 or something on Sunday.
In March?
Yeah. Well, we did a hog hunt last week. Didn't get any hog noses. But I was like, we're going to go again. We're going to go to a different state park and continue hog hunt 2023. I'm really excited to see my first herped hog nose, Western hog nose. I've seen Easterns. Oh, yeah. The jackalopes are coming back out. I saw one this morning. There's my husband. They're awesome. I don't know why I'm talking about birds right now. I'm just trying to avoid the topic. All right, Jana, we got shows coming up.
Super Steak Syndicate is watching us on a 55-inch. Oh, no. I do not have enough makeup on for you to be doing that, sir. Or ma'am. I actually don't know. Balls and Strikes wants everybody to know that the next episode of Snakes and the Fat Man, they will be featured as the 15 Minutes of Lame episode. So please go watch that and support them.
Mm-hmm. All right. Last sort of start of show thing. Dang, US ARC, all of those animal bans have, not all of them, but most of them have updates. Oregon has an update. Illinois has an update. Rhode Island has an update. So it shows like who you need to message or when the meetings are or whatever.
They're moving forward with them, which is
fast.
Really scary. They're pushing them through really hard. So, and they're expanding them. So each state is slowly jumping on the bandwagon, and it looks bad for us guys. I'm not going to lie. It really looks bad. If shows go away, I'm out. I'm just telling you guys right now. That would be Dunzo over here for ASM.
Yeah, and this is very quickly. These are like generic bills that PETA gives to whatever representatives of a state or city council members, and it's like, you know how they torture elephants? Well, they could be torturing elephants right now. So just here's like the copy pasta version, and then they're like, yeah, I hate torturing elephants, and so they'll like push that through. So this is another maybe example where like an ethical attempt can be misconstrued to like ruining an entire industry because someone is just like, I have a big feeling right now and I don't know how to translate that, which is that state representative who gets that copy pasta from PETA. So it's more about education instead of reactionary content, and hopefully that's relevant to today's topic a little bit.
Sorry, I just died there, guys. I got something stuck in my throat.
If you're in those states, please message, because it's the people who are constituents that matter. Just saying. Or people who sell in that state. So if you're a Tinley Park vendor, say, I bring my money there, Illinois. Never go full PETA, that's right.
Yeah, #1 fan right there.
Okay, so everybody's here. We're all here.
Are you sure? Are you sure we're all here? Because I'm not all here.
I don't know how everybody's been feeling this week, but let's do a very generic timeline of the events that happened this week that were not good and that ruined. Oh, Jana's hiding, and that ruined my week because I was going to talk about just like morph stuff. It was supposed to be a fun, happy, chatty,
a light, chatty episode.
So beautiful it was supposed to be, and instead we're doing this.
Yep.
So if people don't know what happened, Reptiles and Research, Liam Sinclair posted a clip of a larger video to World of Ball Pythons on either Sunday or Monday morning. I can't remember which off the top of my head. And I don't want to show you it, and I don't want to critique it or review it because we don't need to do that. This is just a timeline of why the presentation we're going to do will exist. Okay, and then everyone was like, it was like 1:40, and they're like, what is this like nothing burger video? And I agree. It had it was the intro of his stuff. So it doesn't include any of his data or logic. It was just like nothing burger. And then the rest of it is in the rest of the video, but nobody went and watched the rest because they just got the clip on World of Ball Pythons. And so everybody was like, what? I don't get it, right? Obviously, because it was a nothing burger. And so they go comment their ball python feelings on World of Ball Pythons. Some of those feelings are maybe valid, some of them aren't, and we won't name names. Okay, and part of the misunderstanding in those comments had to do with not watching the full video. Context is important, it turns out. Nor did those people read the papers that the video was referencing. Unfortunately, if we don't read, miscommunication happens. So let's all try to read. I know it's long and there's big words, but we can do it together. I swear. So that happened. And I thought, I was like, okay, nothing burger. Moving on. I watched his full video. I was like, oh, that video is much better. Hopefully we nothing happens from here. That
famous last words.
I know that. Mr. Billy Rose did a little bit of a hot take, a little riff about it on his live, which was filled with some of the confused takes that were in the comments. If people want me to like analyze it hard, I don't want to because I don't want anybody to feel bad. But then, so he was like using an interpretation of a nothing burger clip to be like, this guy's dumb. But really, it wasn't that dumb. Okay. So bless his heart. Then also, dear sweet Antoine Hood, High Desert Pythons, RIP, posted like a funny picture of a ball python with like a slide and an LED light and a Rubik's Cube in his tub. And he's like, this is enrichment. But he also posted a slightly meaner one, which wasn't a joke. Yeah, yes, you are, probably. We're all getting canceled. Tradesman says, are we watching Holdback Fracks last episode?
Sayonara!
Yes,
Whoosh.
yes, holy shit. Okay. But he posted one that was a little bit more mean-spirited, which was a snake with stuck shed that said, this is what enrichment gets you. I think that was a story and not a post. A little bit more mean-spirited. Let's be honest. Fair? I don't know if it's fair. Also, none of this is reflective of the please, Jesus, the sponsor's opinions. Most of this is my opinion.
Don't we have like a
I know.
thing we could run
Yeah, we
across
need
the
like
bottom?
10 banners. Also, like, it doesn't reflect previous guests, and it might not
Correct.
reflect my opinion through all of time. It's just my feeling
Today.
right now.
Yes.
Okay. Also, don't listen to me.
According
Maybe-
to Jessica, this is her feeling today.
Also,
But also, somebody posting something you don't like or don't agree with is not reason for cancel culture.
right. We're going to get to that because
Okay,
unfortunately
sorry.
it was so not deserved. It's crazy. Okay. So that was a little bit mean, but it was like, I was just like, whatever. Okay. But they were triggered. The peoples, the other side, the ethical camper community was like, ew, what Billy said, I don't like it. Ew, what Antoine posted, I don't like it. So I think it was Tuesday night, maybe Dylan from the Animals at Home podcast reacted to Antoine's picture with the slide. And so that unleashed his following or whatever. And he was like, and Dylan in that live or in that, it was like a reel, was trying to communicate that he thought Liam's post wasn't communicating effectively Liam's position, because he's like, I don't think we explained ourselves, because look at how unusual this picture is. So that was like a fair take, because he was like, I think we're not explaining ourselves. I'm like, thank God Dylan said that, because maybe they have like a way to like figure it out. And so Antoine, brave, gentle Antoine, goes into the chat of that post and is like, hey, my DMs are blowing up with your people saying things to me that aren't necessarily nice. I'm here to learn. He was trying to be like a team player. Okay. Bless.
Like, oh, maybe I made a mistake. Here I am to listen.
I know.
Educate me and we can come to a reasonable discussion.
All of this part is deleted though, because when his account got taken down, all of his comments got taken down. But I swear to God, Dylan or Antoine was making a good faith effort to communicate with them and come to an agreement. Okay. Or like a polite disagreement. I don't know. Okay.
But he was allowed, people. We don't all have to agree. Let's just be respectful, like he was being. Like, hey,
I know he was doing so great.
People are mad. Tell me why you're mad, and
Right.
I will listen. Which is the
he was
exact
doing
right attitude.
He was doing great. And there was some other like debate in the comments. A lot of it was very civil. Different people, different opinions. Couple days go by. So I guess we're on Thursday now. I don't know when Antoine's account got taken down, but to be 100% clear, people are saying it was Miss Mama Jube Jube, Kayla's like friends or something. Nobody's Kayla's friends. It was probably individual people who were incited to action based on one of the other posts. Kayla was just like, hey, maybe you want to check out the research a little more. She did comment on Antoine's and he did heart her. So let's like clear the air. Kayla doesn't have like a cult of Jube Jube where she sends them out like orcs, like like Saruman.
Then wouldn't yeah, there'd be other people that were gons though if she
right.
had that
so
kind
it
of
wasn't
power.
Kayla, and I heard that right away, and I was like, fuck.
You don't have any friends.
Right. So no one knows who mass reported Antoine's account, but it wasn't Kayla. It was probably just individual shitty pet keepers who were like, he's so unethical or whatever, because he made those joke pictures and they didn't notice that he was trying to learn. Okay. So like, this is a lot of miscommunication, but hopefully Antoine can have his account back, because they probably bulk reported him for something stupid like like animal abuse or whatever. I don't know, but it's currently down, and it's a shame because Antoine just
probably doesn't want to
didn't-
listen anymore.
Right now he's gonna be like,
Communication done.
I'm never gonna enrich shit ever. So we've had a miscommunication, misfire, and then Liam that night posted last night a like clap back response to Mutation Creations video where he clarified some things. So that's why I don't really want to go over what was exactly said every time, like what's the scientific merit of each claim. I'm just giving the timeline events, and then I was like, this is such nonsense. Instead of like just arguing with each other about whose ethical core is correct, let's solve a problem. Right. Read that, Jana.
From Mama Jube Jube. Look, I've always stood firmly in between both sides of the community. We all need to realize there are multiple ways to correctly keep this species.
Mm-hmm. And there's different, like, the thing about ethics that is extremely difficult is the most ethical position is usually like you put a gun in your mouth and you kill yourself. Like, if you don't want to hurt the environment. So if you don't want to hurt an animal, the best one is to die. So like it's a slippery slope argument.
Die and take as many people with you as possible. But we are a sexually transmitted disease that is infecting and decimating the planet.
Right. So we're already like consenting to hurt animals by our continued existence on the planet.
Do you drive a car? Do you have children?
Right.
All
Jana had 3.
Guys.
What a
I
had
3. They almost
4.
kicked me out of my English class because I put more humans on the earth than me and my spouse. So I was hurting the earth. I did it. It was me.
Right.
Guys.
So these like the part of the hobby that wants to get really intense and look deep in their heart about whether or not it's moral to keep pets, I just reject that assumption because I'm into pets. I want lots of pets, but I would like those pets to enjoy humane treatment. I don't even like the word ethical anymore because that part of the hobby ruined it. So we're going to call it humane.
Yeah.
You know, care, healthcare, food, water, some enrichment. What's the up to debate is like, is a lack of a certain amount of enrichment unethical? To me, that's like fucking semantics, right? But to them, it's like life or death, and that's why they like went after Antoine. But that's the context for this conversation, and I am only trying to explain to you and solve one problem. One problem, not all ethical problems, because I am not an ethicist, and I actually have very few morals. But I will solve one problem, which is, what do we need to do to get snakes of all species, but especially ball pythons, ready to transition from a breeder situation to a pet situation? Whoa! It's very narrow because that's something I think is actionable, and everybody right now who's breeding snakes can take these small steps that are not expensive or hard that will make those snakes have a better life when they move on to their forever home.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Whew. Hopefully there's no questions. I don't know. Do you want to read some of this or do you want me to just do it? You didn't write it.
Go right ahead.
Okay. You can comment wherever you want. I don't care.
I will do what I want. Go ahead.
So the goal is to ease the burden on the animal, because the breeder is going to keep one way and the pet keeper is going to keep another way, most likely. Why does easing the burden benefit the breeder? Why does it make sense for you to even worry about any of this? 1, less after transaction questions. And we all don't like those. We like a couple. But what if there's a ton? What if they're really struggling? Well, if the snake is ready to go and you've done the prep on the snake and the transition for the person, less questions. Great. So that's less time, less labor. You save money. Congratulations. What a great decision. Less returns of snakes. So you sent a snake to someone, they're having questions, we're doing husbandry tracks, they can't get it to eat. Or it's very defensive. They really need a return because they just feel overwhelmed. you can keep talking them through it, but sometimes you just got to take it back because it's not the right placement. And so returns are ostensibly you're giving the money back, but you've like lost time, you have a biosecurity risk, but it's still something you would probably have to do at some point. I've done it for just like a local transaction. There's like, I can't get her to eat. I'm just like, give it back. I'll give you your money back and I'll get it back on food again. Because whatever they were doing to it, whatever setup was, mine did not have the mental elasticity to withstand it.
Yeah, right. When they come back into your situation that they're used to, they immediately eat. And that doesn't mean that the person was doing something wrong. That means that you didn't do enough to prepare that baby snake for the transition.
Correct. That's what we're saying. And then
I'm not saying if you get a baby back that's got stuck shed and is dehydrated and is, half dead.
Right.
That's not the same situation, guys.
Right.
We're talking about something
right.
different.
Some people have terrible husbandry no matter what their setup is, including a rack, by the way.
Yeah. You can have stuck shed in a rack, guys. It happens.
Yeah, I do right now. My humidity is atrocious. Like I have to be very vigilant about wetting down Coco now.
Yes.
So, and my racks are very expensive, so it doesn't change the fact that I still need to do lots of maintenance. So, and then if the snakes are happier while they're in happier is like the wrong word because they don't have higher cognitive function, but let's just say like they have less cortisol. They're less stressed out. No matter what that means, they will be happier snakes, better production, potentially. And the buyer will be more pleased with what they get. They got like an outgoing, peppy corn snake that doesn't bite, or a ball python that comes down and is like, yay, I'm going to periscope, be your best friend. If you could give them a very interactive snake right away, they don't have to have that, but that might engender in a pet buyer a better response. And then they might become a repeat customer. Don't we like that?
We love that.
Yeah, it's free acquisition.
I have people that buy a snake for me every year at the same show. Then they come back and they're like, we're ready for number whatever. We're ready for number whatever. And every year they get a snake from me, and it's beautiful.
Okay. Now, the terminal condition of all snakes should hopefully be pets. Even the most high-end morph. A DG clown today will be a $400 snake in 20 years. Or maybe next year, based on how things are going. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you want snakes that are either born as neonates and placed in pet homes, or that retire from breeding facilities to be placed in pet homes. They live so long. Yeah. They live so long. Hopefully they are placed and they don't magically disappear and die or whatever. Where all the male cinnamons. Right. So even a snake, you're like, well, I don't need to like habituate this one to a lot of stimuli because it's really expensive. It's just going to go breeder to breeder to breeder. One day it will fall in price and become a pet or need to be rehomed as a pet. So having snakes that are very tolerant of stimuli will benefit them in the end. And the whole point of Liam's video was that the plasticity in the brain diminishes as they get older. So you need to ideally expose them to stimuli as they're developing, expose them to different experiences as they're developing, because it sort of gets fixed later on. Do you know those old racist fossils, everybody? We've seen one recently. They're fixed, unfortunately. So it's the same sort of analogy.
So you want to teach an old dog new tricks.
Right. But we already have snakes that grew up in less stimuli situations. So we need to have plans to transition them, whatever. So that's the goal. We have animals that are growing up now that need more stimuli, and animals that have already had like a less stimulating situation. We need to work on methods to like build enrichment into the infrastructure we already have, maybe buy new infrastructure that's more stimulating, but while still like balancing the fact that we're a commercial facility with commercial demands and density requirements to be a viable business. Okay. But also, pet keepers, they are not breeders. they should not be encouraged to keep their snakes like breeders unless that snake cannot thrive in any other situation but the breeder situation because it didn't learn to do anything else. Because there's lots of fun appeal to having like a big enclosure with lots of visual interest, and the snake can do more behaviors than he would in a rack, and you can actually see them and you're like, oh, how are you? And go up here and he has like a full range of motion, and that's better than being in a rack. Sorry to disappoint everyone in the chat. It's obviously better and more interesting for the snake. More stimuli, more thermal gradients, more textures. We do what we do because we need volume, not because that is the most humane condition. But we can make the conditions that we have more stimulating, more humane. And they don't have to cost that much.
Right, exactly. You can throw in when you use up your paper towels or you use up your toilet paper, instead of tossing it in your recycling, which you should be doing, not your trash. Take it and toss it here. Take it and toss it into one of your snakes' enclosures, especially if you have babies that you know are pet quality, the 500 and under, or the males that are not going to be used in breeding programs, and toss that into one of them. You empty a box of pasta. Take that box and throw it in there.
All right, save the tips for the end. We got tips.
Sorry,
but that was a good idea. She got excited. All right, hold on. So those two enclosures though can share a lot of features that will help the snake transition, right? Like if the cocoa was in the breeders, but the buyer wants to do whatever, like a jungle mix substrate, maybe they should start with cocoa. So like you can help the two things overlap by having more shared features. A lot of breeders recommend racks right away to their buyers because it's like continuity of care. They know it lives good in this situation, so it will live good in that situation. So it's easy to tell them what to do. And B, it makes people buy more snakes, unfortunately. They're like, I'm going to have 10.
It's a gateway drug. Now you have 10 slots to fill. Yes. I just wanted to say on the comment, if you need more ideas, go watch Emily at Snake Discovery. So Emily at Snake Discovery, fantastic YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, where have you been? Are you under a rock? Okay. They have rack systems and they talk about enrichment and hides and how to be sterile and how to give your snake the best that you can. Not everybody, it's not feasible for all of us to have stacks and stacks of 4x2x2s that are fully decked out in a, pet quality enclosure. But if you want to see some that are, a racking system that's a happy medium or doing better than just cocoa and water, like there is ways to do that. You just go watch their videos, you'll see.
Mm-hmm. And also maybe the buyer just wants to look at their snakes. So like we have to encourage them to enjoy their pet. So there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's great. We don't necessarily need them to be hoarders too, because they're not a commercial operation. They should enjoy their pets. So there's no reason to discourage them from doing that unless you for some reason believe that a rack is superior, which a rack may or may not be superior depending on A, what you're competing with, and B, how the rack is set up. Because obviously Exoterras are shit for ball pythons without severe modification. But even an Exoterra could be made correct with gentle guidance from the breeder. But you would need to know how to do that instead of just like put it in a rack. Fuck it. I don't want to think about it.
Also, just like Snake Discovery, Jube, she has a big, is it a Freedom Breeder?
Yeah.
A big Freedom Breeder boa rack system that she does just like you would do a PVC enclosure. So it's the ease of the rack system, but she still offers her snakes every single thing that a pet keeper would want to add to enclosures. And so if you want an example of how to set up a rack like that, you can also check out Jube.
Mm-hmm. All right. So here are the recommendations, that sort of Jana started to spill.
Sorry, guys. She can't
That
take me
I
anywhere.
think balance commercial demands, husbandry demands, and ethical demands while still using a high density situation and attempting to increase enrichment while maintaining biosecurity. It is hard, but we can try. You don't have to do all of these, but some of these might be helpful for transitioning snakes specifically to pet homes. Okay. Are we canceled yet? I'm pretty sure, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I forgot. Here you go.
My first recommendation is to feed frozen thawed at least some of the time. And if not frozen, then pre-killed off of tongs. Because
just
frozen transition is helpful.
Right. Just to clarify, guys, we're reminding you again, this is for the animals that you expect to be placed in pet homes.
I disagree.
Oh,
I think this should be for all animals because
I feed all frozen thawed, but some people are not. But I make sure that my ones that are going to shows are on frozen thawed. I've just completely stopped bringing ones that are not on frozen thawed because they just sit there. And so you're just stressing out that animal for no reason because the pet keepers want frozen thawed.
They do. Period. Well, the reason why I disagree is because what I was talking about is if they never learned to do anything and they were a breeder, when they get old, they are not good at being a pet. They're not good at transitioning into a pet home. So you should try to teach even expensive high-end stuff to one day be a good pet because its lifespan is far longer than its use as a breeder. I know nobody's going to like that. I know we don't have time for this, but where are all the male cinnamons?
Where are they? I have one. I have the only one in existence over 3 years old.
Well, I've gotten animals like this. This is why I know it's true that we're like fixed in like a breeder brain. And so they were going to take a lot of TLC to get ready. And so you'll try to place them and they're mean. They want live. They don't want to live in a clear tub. They're very difficult to place. And now they're like a super pastel. Is it ethical to make an animal like that whose terminal condition is what is he? Freezer, probably. Like he should be humanely euthanized. But I'm kidding. You can obviously transition some of those adults, but some of them have struggled so hard to transition that we need like a convalescent home for snakes that don't want to be good pets, unfortunately. So instead of doing that, we should stop making snakes that are shitty pets. Jana.
God. Yeah, stop it, Jana.
Me too. I'm obviously at fault because I've been like, fuck, I'm too busy to like handle the baby ball pythons this week. I'll just do a water change.
I've actually like gotten pushback and hate grams.
Hate grams. Awesome.
For posting videos of my children booping the noses of snakes. Like that is so harmful and inappropriate to stress out a snake like that. You would never hate-a-gram somebody when they have a brand new puppy and you're touching its nose, you're touching its ears, you're touching its teeth, you're touching its feet. That's called desensitizing them. Like if a baby is used to having its face booped, then when something comes in front of its face, its natural reaction is not going to be like, oh, fuck, what the hell just happened? You know, like that is not an inappropriate thing to be doing. Like you can handle your animals. If you don't have time, your kids have time. Like, hey, you want your tablet? You better handle 10 snakes for 5 minutes each today. You know?
All right, they're talking about putting live rats on tongs. Obviously, I did not say that. I said pre-killed. So like either some humane euthanasia. But you're presenting the animal with the smell of alive, but in a state that is a different orientation than alive to hopefully let that animal transition to frozen thawed with the next person. Is that what we're talking about?
They're saying that you can still feed live and introduce them to tong feeding without killing the animal.
I don't think that's particularly humane.
The
so
rat.
I'm good. You can try that if you want. I'll pass. Please don't cancel me. We need a banner. We don't. Here we go. That one about works. This is like an extremely difficult topic to thread. And I know people are going to be like, you're not ethical enough. You're too ethical. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Like,
Everybody do your best.
right. If you don't want to do any of these things and you want to whatever, that's fine. But I can tell you, having placed pet home animals, that
You will have
having them
better
be a little
success.
more resilient is better. Okay. So
Right.
if you want to sell those animals and make money or place them successfully, then think about these things.
Right. I don't
Please.
think that breeders need to sell their racks and go buy PVC enclosure stacks and take their 40 ball pythons and sell half of them and put 10 in the space that they've just had 40. I'm not saying that, but I'm also saying that if your current setup, which some of my snakes are set up like this, is a dark tub with water and cocoa and nothing else, obviously we can do better than that, guys. Like, that's all we're saying. You don't have to go out and get the big enclosure with all the everything and do it that way, but you can do better than nothing. Like basic needs met. There is more we can do here. There's room for us to do better so that our animals can transition better. And especially, I know that I am telling people to keep their animals with 2 hides, to keep their animals with enrichment, to keep their animals in this certain way. And that's what I'm teaching my pet people. So if I'm creating an animal that can't even live in what I'm teaching, then I'm shooting myself in the foot already. So like, I know I need to do better. And if we can't hear that as an industry, that like there's room for us to improve the situation that we have. I'm not saying ban all racks. I'm saying this is what we have. What can we do?
Right.
And this is what Jessica's trying to tell us. This is
obviously
what we can do.
on your side, guys. Like, we are wannabe breeders, commercial. We're both registered with our states. We have large numbers of animals. We want to make it fast, efficient, sanitary, and functional, right? So I don't think, but there's overlap where it can be better. So here's an overlap. Handle snakes if you can, to desensitize them to the stimuli of being handled, which sounds crazy. All right. Crazy. You obviously don't want to cross-contaminate, but like all the baby ball pythons can be their own bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it. You can trick your kids into it. You could, if you have an employee, you can pay them. Just be like, I'm going to pick a small number to have them out, crawl around in my hands, put them back during water change time. Doesn't have to be all of them in one sitting, but you're just trying to teach them to be handled and not be scared. That's good stimuli.
Right.
And
when I'm making when I'm making a concerted effort, what I do is I'll have one of my kids, I have 3, I'll have one of them sit next to me. And when I'm changing water or cleaning or looking for poop or whatever, I will always remove the ball python from the bin because they're getting picked up, they're being handled, they're being stimulated, they're like that. If you're just like sneaking behind it and grabbing a poo and grabbing out their thing and flipping and getting it new water and then putting it closed and you never even touch that ball python, that's a missed opportunity.
Right. I mean, you can do that too if you're going fast, but like,
but if you're like wanting to do better,
something more
right?
To the
like you can take that animal out, plop it in your kid's hands, and do what you need to do, and it can have that 2-minute interaction with your child, and then you reset their bin and you can put it back in. And so they've had even just the taking it out and putting it back in is good for them.
Calm down there, Tiger. Jube says that just getting a little hot under the collar for Jana.
That's right. I don't feel like I'm fired up. I just feel like we can do better, and I need to do this.
And I feel like this is all like obvious stuff. Like we all do it anyway, but we just maybe
we all know we should be when we're not doing it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Or like Jessica said, like she said this on multiple episodes, throw that toilet paper roll in there. That gives them something to smell and climb on and go through. And, and that's something that all of us have in our homes. All of us use toilet paper. You all have toilet paper rolls. Like you can, when one runs out, toss it in somebody's thing, and the next week somebody else gets one. I have 3 girls, so we have like 1,000 of these. I'm over here like going through a whole ream of toilet paper a day. So I've got lots, and I could definitely be tossing them in. And then when it's done, you just throw it away, and you don't have to worry about, you're doing what you would have done anyway, is throw it away. And so you're not having to sanitize it, or you're not having to clean it if that's a concern for you. but you're just getting a use out of it before you throw it away, rather
There's
than
a
just
little bit
going
of delay
straight.
in the chat, everybody. But 905 made some comments about people like cut the eggs, sit them in the rack. They'll take them out for picture day and then feed them and ship it, which is true. And I, if someone has a lot, they're like, I can't do it. But like, maybe that is the time where your volume should be pulled back so you can give, and this is like part of the upgrade strategy. If your snakes were more expensive, you could treat them with a little bit more stimuli or not.
You could just keep doing what you're doing. And if it's working for you, great. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that there is a way to improve what you're doing if you want to. But it's nobody's choice but your own. You have to decide where your ethics are. I don't get to tell you what you feel is ethical and unethical.
I know that's
personal.
The worst part.
I mean, that's like me telling you what religion you have to have. That's no bueno. That's like me telling you your politics. I don't get to do this. These are suggestions. If you feel like you're not doing as well as you could, you don't have to sell everything and start over. You can improve what you have and do better if you want to. If you feel like what you have is working and great, keep on keeping on. Then you can just exit the show and you're good to go. Then you don't need to hear any of this. It's not an accusatory thing. It's not a you have to. This is ideas if you want to do what you have, but do it a little better for better transitions to your clients or for the more humane keeping of your snakes. If you feel like what you're doing is working and humane, you're golden. You don't have to, you can have a different opinion than us. That's okay. This hobby is about life is about different opinions and different ways of doing things. And we are making gentle suggestions that I even need to do myself, or sometimes I have done, and then other times I've been too busy for. And so you just have to take what works for you and leave the rest.
That's a Linkin Park song. Also, you have to do things to your snakes, like take their picture, maybe weigh them for a customer, take a little video, water change time. So you can use all those to increase enrichment. They could be removed to someone's hands as a handling session, or they could be removed to this one makes me uncomfortable, but a shared enrichment location. A UVB cage that's just for UVB, an outdoor sunning cage, an indoor plaything, whatever. Those locations could accentuate whatever enrichment is happening in the tub without necessarily replacing it. So you wouldn't have to give UVB to every single snake. You would just have a zone that they could access it, which people do for corn snakes all the time.
Keeping in mind wondering. Biosecurity practices.
Right. You want to be able to sanitize between animals of different bubbles, please, because that's gross. Outdoor time, Jana. I know some people are very adamant that a snake outside will just immediately turn to dust. And it's so stressed it will never eat again. I've taken every snake I own outside a lot. And I don't always even photograph it or for Instagram or whatever, although that's a good use for that time. But you can just take them outside because you just want to hold them outside, right?
Lady Tiz has a video that she posted today that you guys should all check out. She is showing you bogey ball. Those are the ones with the geometric cutouts, right?
She's saying bougie. Like a ball python in a nice enclosure.
Oh, a bougie ball python, like a fancy ball python. Okay. Anyway, she has a visual demonstration. You guys can go check that out.
I don't think, Lady Tiz, respectfully, that all snakes will act the same all the time. So I still think enrichment should be encouraged for pet keepers and some breeders. I will watch it though, and I will have an open mind and heart. All right. I think even for ball pythons, you should use clear or windowed tubs sometimes. Maybe all the time. All the time would be good, but if you already have gray tubs, it's fine. Because some snakes like gray tubs because they were raised on gray tubs. Some snakes like window only because they were raised that way or that's what they're comfortable with, even with the presence of a hide. And some snakes are like, I don't give a shit. Clear tub all day. If you're going to sell it to somebody who's going to go put it in a PVC enclosure, you have to get it ready for that. So if you could take them out of the gray tub, give it some quality time in a window tub, take it out of a gray tub, put it in a clear tub with a hide, with enrichment to make it so that there's a visual barrier, they will transition better. I have lots of ball pythons in extremely clear tubs and they all eat fine, but not all of them. The ones that like got habituated to gray still need gray. But if they had probably been in clear the whole time, maybe it would be better. I don't know. What do you think about that, Jana?
I think I have a lot of gray tubs.
I do too. Well, the problem is they're cheaper.
Bad llama. Bad llama.
But I'll even start like a baby corn in a gray tub. But they really need a clear tub. So I graduate them to clear tubs. But even other species that are good eaters need to be graduated out of certain sensory forms to other ones. I sell corn snakes, which are good eaters that still need transition tubs into their final enclosure because they're like, I don't understand. So I have to train my buyers. So if I actually knew the size of their final enclosure, it would be better because I could just like put the corn snake in there and teach it here. But a lot of times they're like, I'm taking a baby corn snake and putting it in a 40-gallon, which is fine, but they need to be taught.
What I'm trying to do is I have a friend now who's doing up baby bins for me that I'm selling with my baby ball pythons. And they are a clear Rubbermaid, lid latched, smaller, bigger than what I have my snakes in, but not a 20 long or a 40 or a 2x4x4. And so they're transitioning to a smaller space. And then I'm like, set up your bigger enclosure and let it be established in your environment, get really comfortable with each other, and then think about, in 6 months or a year, transitioning them into their final enclosure. And that seems to be
or they could
do
good. Tub and tub.
I say that too. Yeah, I say you could do a bigger tub like this. It just needs to be the bigger one. And I show them and I bring one that's bigger. Just because I think that the general public does better with humidity issues if they put them in a tub.
Yes.
Rather than having to fully figure out how to adapt the glass enclosures to a ball python's needs.
I wish the glass enclosures would all get broken, honestly, because if we could see hey, I know you only want to spend $200 today. Go to Walmart, get a tub, get a good thermostat, get a good heat pad. Don't burn down your house, and then go get a big, nice PVC that's decked out. I tell everybody that every time,
we've been telling
and people, they don't believe him. Go buy an Exoterra. I'm like, you wasted $200 on that stupid Exoterra. I know you can fix that, but you would have such a much more pleasurable final condition if you spent all the money on the PVC.
And that's why we were trying to here's their transition bin or their starter bin. And then you can go and if there's a delay for PVC enclosures, you have time to order one and get it in. Or if you want to watch for a used one being sold, you have the opportunity to do that. And you're not like, oh crap, I need it right now. Because the baby's fine. And it's little.
Right. They can learn to love whatever, but you need to do it while there's neuroplasticity. Going back to the stupid video. If you wait a long time, they might get stuck in whatever mindset that they're trained on. All right, let's look at these. We talked about these. ARS, not sponsored, was launching the hybrid version. This is a good, instead of buying 70s necks for your adult ball pythons, you could go spring for the hybrid version of these. Good compromise. There's a window, but the sides are grayed out. Still need hides, but there's a lot more floor space.
Yeah, would be what I would want, because the ones that are the other direction, are two.
Direction? There are two.
There's two there, right? And so two per level. There is the ones that are the long ways, and there's one per level. That doesn't really work for my my situation. But the 2 in each level is what, like, long term, this is what I would
Oh,
love
you
to
mean
have.
like just a single part of
No,
it?
I mean like what Jube
What
Jube
you do?
has. Like that.
Yeah, this is for Jube Jube mostly. I think we could convince people to do this. You
Yeah.
know, Joel from State 48 keeps ball pythons in this, and he just likes looking at them. Okay, so like, some of them have hides, some of them don't, because the inside is dark. So if we're like, what's a practical next step to buy to increase enrichment? Maybe it's that. Just trying to stay positive here. I'm a gentle spirit deep down inside.
Yeah, I wish that they would put windows on the 70s too.
Who did? Who
I
said
wish
that?
they would. I say that.
Oh, okay. I thought you said they said that. I was like,
No, I wish they would do that.
I think Freedom Breeder has a version of the 40s or 70s that has windows in the front. Am I making that up?
I don't know. We'd have to look.
Jube, report back. The other thing you can do to increase enrichment is just size up tubs. I know people are like, they'll die if you put them in a slightly big tub. But I take babies from V18s right into 40s. Do you do that, Jana? I give them a hide, but they're like, babies. It's like a 20 long. Of course they can go in there.
I do, yeah, like what's the ones that are shorter than the other ones?
The 50 40s or whatever.
50s, yeah. Because I have 50s and 55s and 70s. No. And so I put them in the one that's like shorter. And I put in, like, you can put in 2 little hides for your grow out kids, and they do fine.
Yeah. We're just giving you options of choices. They're fine. They're fine. Most of them are fine. If they're not, then figure it out. You can go down. But there's no reason to be like, ball pythons die if they are in a slightly too large enclosure. You can do it. They're fine. People stick babies into 4-footers and they're fine. You just need to work on learning your animals, which we tell people to do that anyway, but we act like it's insane when we're talking about tub size or whatever. And obviously, ball pythons are a little bit more picky and some other species are a little bit more picky, but boas don't give a shit. You can put a baby boa in an entire room and it'll be like, I'm delighted. Thank you. Climbing up here, I'm going over here, I'm doing a zoomy. So like, I don't know what the problem is. We just need to make sure that animals are conditioned to the stimuli that we're going to put them into and then prepare our buyers. Let's keep going.
You also need to know that not every snake is exactly the same. So there are going to be some that do need that blackout tub and that hide and that smaller tub. And that's what they want. And if you're listening to your snakes, then great. But that's not going to be a great home to give somebody who wants a big 4x2 display enclosure with all the shit in it. That's not the snake you're going to place with them because that snake doesn't like it. Like
you should probably know that before you sell it, though. You should probably like figure it out, like try it out.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know that we'll get to that. Let's talk about like disposable tub furnishings. I guess Jana's busy. So you can do like you talked about with cardboard boxes and paper towel rolls, but you can also do stuff like egg crate and all that's disposable. So as far as like cleaning goes, they poop on it, it goes away. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And so that makes like your spot clean just as fast as it would have been otherwise. You're just taking stuff up and throwing it away. You can also use like sphagnum moss bundles and like leaf litter piles. And people are like, that makes it dirty. No, it doesn't. They fucking love leaf litter, all of them. They all like to like snuffle around in it and smell it. Please bake it so you don't know what's on it. But a little weird pile of leaf litter. I do it to ball pythons all the time. I guess I should talk about this. But they're just like...
They freaking go nuts.
They want to smell it so bad. It must smell good. They're like,
there's dig in it and they like put it on their head and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, last time I checked, leaves were free. So you don't need to pay Josh's Frogs for a $40 pound of 2-ounce leaves. Just go outside, bake it, bring it back in, get it wet again. And
or like bribe your kids with a piece of candy. Go bring me a Ziploc baggie full of leaves and then you throw it in your oven and you're good to go.
Yeah. And you can make a leaf hide that's all a pile of leaves. Boas love that. They'll like get in and they'll like fluff it up because they're supposed to do that in the wild. And they'll stick their little nose up. So you have like a hide that's open topped, but they found this leaf pile and then you can take it out and throw it away or whatever. But it doesn't take that much to add a little bit of excitement to a snake's life because their brains aren't really that complicated. So just small amounts of stimulation, including like small scents. So like the vanilla trick. Well, you can also just do the vanilla trick in the tub. You just put vanilla, they'll sniff it, and they're like, "Oh, it's different." You could use non-toxic smells that are different to make them have feelings that are different. That just makes their brain work, and that's good for them. The other thing is easy washable but reusable enrichment. So like plastic hides, and then like fake plants. Some fake plants are much harder to wash, and I wouldn't recommend because urates will get stuck on them worse. So it's not like an efficient use for a commercial facility, but like the more plasticky ones, the urates don't get stuck as much. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know how to like explain this. Like the fabric-y feeling ones, the urates will like marry into it, and that is not hygienic.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll proceed if you want. Jana's busy.
I need 5 minutes. I'll be back.
Okay. The other thing, which for some reason ball python people don't think that they can use, but you definitely can, is perches for babies in tubs. So people know about them for GTPs and carpets and boas, but a baby ball python will jump up on this. It's not like a crazy structure. Here's Helly guy. He used to keep ball pythons. He's selling some. These are all 3D printed. And then of course, it's reptileperch.com, which is like, I don't know what their name is now, Custom Reptile Solutions or whatever. They have all these perches, but you can put these in ball python tubs too. Corn snake tubs. They don't cost that much. You can 3D print them yourself. There's lots of different versions. And they don't perch a ton, but this is a way to add like cheap enrichment that is reusable, sanitizable, safe to any tub for any kind of snake. Jana's back.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Now, I think you should keep some of your species in the tub or enclosure or whatever that you think your buyer will keep them in, to learn it yourself if you've never done it, and then to teach them the right way when they ask you. So if you think ball pythons do best in a PVC enclosure, you should have at least one set up with a ball python in it so you can teach. I don't even meet this standard currently. So all my PVC has other kinds of snakes in it. So I should probably buy one because that's what I recommend to people because obviously that's the best. So I need to go buy one. So this is a failure on my part.
Yeah, like I have an Xoterra that's set up because that's what most people use. And then I recommend PVC and tubs, but I should probably have the ones I'm recommending rather than what people are used to seeing.
Right. I mean, I can put a ball python in like a tub that's set up because I have millions of those. But I would like a picture, like branded, like maybe Jubes, like a nice one that's like, this is the ideal condition. This is what you're shooting for because you're whatever, to help explain and enumerate it better. To me, I don't know. Seems logical. Anything else?
I think we beat it to death.
No, we're not done. There's notes.
Oh shit.
And that also, like, then you would know for sure that Xoterras are shit because you tried Xoterras or whatever. You would know without the bottom of the doubt. The last couple is like try to condition adult animals, which you already talked about. So you might want to move them into these like showroom enclosures and see which ones do good and which ones don't. Then you'll know to sell them as conditioned to enclosures or needing racks. And then you'll actually know how to do it. And then this is the last point I would like to make. If there are any cage makers in the chat, I want this to be on every cage maker's just regular lineup of stuff that's for sale. Because right now you have to like special order it. This is like an Applegate style enclosure. The top it's PVC. The top is like a standard enclosure. You can attach lights. You can put holes in the top if you want. You can attach radiant heat panels. But there's a drawer here that the snake can access through this pipe. So this is like a rack sitting under an enclosure. So the snake can pick. Does it want to be in a rack or does it want to be in an enclosure? It's like climbing opportunity, but it can spend its whole life in here. You could be like, that's nice. I'll look at my plants and I'll be happy.
So you're like providing it with like an ant or a termite
and this
place and then real
yes
landscape on top.
Because obviously ball pythons do like to use refugium. That's why we put them in black tubs, but they need to spend some amount of time doing something else because they do that in the wild. This is perfect for ball pythons. This would be perfect for boas. This was originally designed for king snakes. There are lots of snakes that were like, they should be in a PVC, but they want a big, dark, happy place to hide AF. But they also want the choice.
Yes. And make little nests in there.
And this one was made by Scale Box. So people will do it, but you have to custom make it. But to me, this is like the most obvious like ball python transition enclosure. Maybe that adult ball python will never want to be up there.
Is what you're saying.
Why do we have to special edition it? So message everybody you know. It should be on the website. You should be able to add an enclosure bottom.
We need to make an HRP branded one.
I would love it.
If you are a rack maker or a enclosure maker, please message us so we can do some branding talk, and we will put you on our show every freaking week, and we can put both our names on there and we will link it and do the whole shebang. So if you're struggling right now to sell enclosures and you do enclosures, hit up Jessica.
Yeah, I just think they're like awesome because that's
awesome. I've never seen that ever.
We've talked about it, but I don't think I've ever showed anybody a picture of it. Like it has the PVC.
I think you have tried to explain it. And I was like, what the fuck are you saying?
Well, so you can have bioactive if you want. You just make the pipe taller to make this part taller. And you can have as much substrate as you want. They're snakes, so they can obviously like go like boop. And I've seen when people do it for boas, the boas like get conditioned to feed like they would in the wild, like from a place of hiding to like a
sneak attack,
a game trail. So these boas, like when they smell the rats defrosting in the room, they'll like hurry up and they'll go get ready and they'll go get ready to hunt from their little hidey hole because that's the most natural hunting position. So instead of like hunting, I mean, sometimes they'll hunt down like off of a shelf or whatever, but most of these bigger body boas.
I think your husband is volunteering.
No, he's not. I don't know. I'll try not to make fun of him publicly at this moment. But those bigger body boas they would love this. They have like a big old refugium. They have a little hunting spot. They can be conditioned to like hunt from there instead of hunting from the front of the tub. You don't have to do spot training. And it would be great for ball pythons so that they don't have to be conditioned as hard because this is a built-in conditioning device because they can choose not to do what they're not comfortable doing until they are comfortable to do it. Yes, please, everybody. That's what I would like. We did it.
I dig it. I want it. Message me if you make stuff.
Hopefully we're not canceled. Like we really could be because we really said things that people do not agree with. I already know. Let's do our second ad break, Jana. Are you ready?
I am not ready. Just a second.
Okay, you don't have to be ready. We can just talk to chat.
That's all right. I'm ready now.
Okay, Jana's ready now.
Gray Family Snakes. They sponsor this
fun.
podcast, and they're so fun and cute and adorable. If you want to learn more about Gray Family Snakes, we just did a really fun episode with them. If you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. So you guys can learn more about these really cool people. I think the more that we hear about them, the more that we see them and learn about them, the more that we like them. They're amazing. They are working with VPI Xanthic as their main snake. And like I said, go and watch our interview with them and learn more about them because you'll just like them as much as we like them. So thank you for sponsoring our show.
Thank you. 9:05. we're gonna get canceled for a myriad of reasons. I don't know. Because of the
There was no
spreadsheet.
spreadsheet today. Oh man, I'm sorry. That's such a letdown.
I know. I don't know. I thought about doing like a pre-stonk report, like catching up with like the genes that we skipped or whatever up to January, and then adding them to the March. I don't know if that's what people actually want, or are they really just waiting for the report from Write-In? Jana,
Did my face not stay a natural color? Does my face get red when I'm upset?
When?
I don't know, when I was like, ah! I don't know, maybe if you blow it up really big. It's super small on my screen. I'm like an inch on my own screen.
Why?
So I don't know if I get.
I mean, I'm feeling colored. I just was like so upset that Antoine's was deleted. Like they were so mad.
Right. If someone has a different opinion and they're not harming you, that's okay. We don't need to cancel them.
Right,
there are certain situations where things are not appropriate and we need to speak up as a community. But someone not agreeing with your opinion on husbandry is not one of those situations. And I don't think that the pet side of the industry understands how important social media presence is for the breeder side of our industry, and how hard it is to cultivate that and grow that, and what a huge actual devastating loss that is for him and his business. And it's not okay, guys.
Right. I thought things were awkward, and then I'm like, this is fucked, actually. So let's move on to our more beautiful sponsors.
Hang on. How do I make the comment go away?
It's up here.
Thank you.
Wow. What's this, Jana?
This is Women Ball Python Breeders. This is Eileen's group that she created for women only, or people who identify she, her, are welcome to join this group. It is a wonderful, positive, safe space. If you are new to the hobby or you have experience that you want to share with other female breeders, please join. Please join the conversation. It is always positive. It is always supportive. My first year of breeding, I lived on this site and I asked lots and lots of really dumb questions, and no one ever made me feel dumb. I just felt really supported, and I felt like it was okay to ask questions. I just think that it's like one of the only ball python groups that I'm a part of that it doesn't terrify me to speak in. So if you're new, or if you need that kind of a community and camaraderie, please, if you're not a member, do that. For all you boys out there, I'm sorry, make your own boy group. But us ladies need to stick together. So this is Eileen's group that she created. She is Bravo Zulu. And she sponsors this podcast, and she is also a veteran, obviously, from her name. So if you like to support veterans, you like to support women in business, she's your lady. Reach out to her and see what she's got cooking up for this season.
Who's this guy? Who's this feller? He's wearing shorts. It must be
literally talking about not racking systems. This is Chris, BNS Reptilia, and he is waking up his snakies from brumation and getting them back into their enclosures. And we were just talking about stacks of enclosures like this. So you get like a gold freaking star. Good job on having these kinds of enclosures.
Anyway, so
totally not why I picked this, but...
All right, finish him up.
Anyway, so if you are looking to get into colubrids this season, or you're looking for something besides ball pythons, like I said, he's our go-to guy. You can hit him up and see all the species he works with. There are many. Some of them are.
It's cool that there's like a built-in hide on this side. Did you see that? So that's
sort of like an
Applegate sideways or something.
Oh, sideways Applegate. Oh, okay, that's cool.
There's like a refugia box with its own door. It's actually,
I kind of like that better. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know about for ball pythons. Maybe it's easier to build or whatever.
Anyway, very cool. Okay. If he's still here, maybe he could drop in the comments who built these. But he sponsors our podcast, and we're very grateful. And we like that he does more than just ball pythons.
Yeah, and he was on Clutch Conversations. I missed it because I was too busy being depressed, but I'll have to catch it on the rewind. I'm sure it was great. Too.
I missed it too, but I will be catching up.
I
I've been
caught a
little,
bunch of them this week. I was very
off
diligent.
social media. I was not. I was off
And then
social media
something
the
terrible
entire week.
happened.
Yeah.
My God. And if people want, like, God forbid you want this, I don't really want to talk about it, but not now, but like an actual discussion of the papers that were involved with whatever. I just thought it wouldn't be appropriate for me to mansplain to you again instead of giving like solutions. Okay. So here they are.
If you need a spreadsheet depicting these papers, just let us know.
One we could like make fun of are the 5 freedoms, which I agree with some of them, but like there's an interesting moral debate here. This is like the worst episode topic in general because there's no winning ever discussing this. So we're moving on. But I have thought about it, and that's why I brought you this show and not like every scientific paper about what kind of cage a ball python needs ever, because that you already know what they need, in my opinion. You just haven't done it yet. Okay. All right, what's this, Jana?
Chick-splain, or we could call it Jess-splain, or like
I was trying to be a happy episode.
Spreadica.
Whoa. Whoa, that's a fetish.
Spreadica, I feel like fits our theme of our podcast. Chris said that Ed built them. I don't know who that is.
Who's Ed?
Yeah. Who's Ed? Is that your old partner? Anyway, let us know, because I don't know.
All right, let's talk about this, Jana. Did you see this?
Of course I didn't see it. I don't know what you're smoking.
Do you think this is cool? Everybody, this is... Do you know what it is before reading it? I guess you would have known now.
No and no. No and no.
Isn't that crazy?
No and no. It's a big fat...
It's the Desert Ghost Sunset.
Yeah, I read the title.
Yeah.
It looks still like a hot turd. Sorry.
Poor
like a
Miguel.
Reduced... it's worse than a sunset. It's been made worse. I don't think it's better. Obviously, it's a powerhouse animal, and congratulations for hitting it. I know that was really important to him. I'm not trying to shit on his hard work that he's put into this and the effort that it takes to get what he has. I'm not trying to say that, guys. I'm saying based on looking at it, it's disappointing as hell, but I don't like the sunset anyway. But I think that Desert Ghost made it way worse.
So it looks like an animal. I guess I'll mute it. So it might get better, but it's going to get very yellow. So it'll be like a reduced version of the sunset pattern, very yellowy.
It's going to age like hot garbage. It is going to age and look like a really, really poor quality, like pastel OD or something.
Isn't it so weird, that picture? I don't even know who posted it. It was very beautiful. It was an ODDG to
an OD pewter. It's gonna age like OD pewter. It's gonna just be like hot trash. I don't even know why we're talking about this. Hot trash on the screen. Here, look, guys. I'm gonna help you out. There we go. Yeah, that's much better. Wait, did you just write that?
Yep.
Oh,
it's the fired up alert.
I didn't know. I didn't know about that was a thing. All right. Anyway, what do you think, Jessica?
I thought it was a snooze fest. It wasn't like it's not terrible, but like you can see how disappointed he was. He's like, I didn't even want to post it because I didn't even know if I had hit it, and it got better as it got older, and I'm a little bit less depressed. You could tell he was disappointed, and I think somebody asked if the Monarch sunset was better. Who asked that?
Someone said DG sunset or DG or Monarch sunset.
Probably the Monarch sunset.
Oh, probably for sure.
And like the Ultra sunset I think it's pretty legit. It's very ultra milk colored, but
I haven't seen that, but I bet it looks a lot better.
We looked at it on an episode, Jana.
Well,
the same one we did the albino sunset.
I hate sunset.
All right. How about these things, which a lot of people have already talked about, so we're late to the party. This is the yellow belly lace pied.
They're awesome.
I like that it's like
it needs some inchy in there.
Buckeye or whatever.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
or
I really like how pixelated it is, like going up into the saddle, and the buckeyes are beautiful. It's a gorgeous animal. It needs inchy. We need to force pattern back into it now.
Well, the clown pied one has inchy in it, I think. Am I making that up? So this is what it will be with inchy.
Whoa, that's really cool. Yeah, I'll take 3 of those.
I like that it looks like a topographic map. So there's like different concentric rings of different gradients. So that part's cool. I actually think I like the buckeye. That's so like
unique,
specific.
Yeah.
You could sell this to pet bird. Like, look at my little buckeye.
Wait, so is that one we just saw? That's a triple recessive? It's because isn't lace a recessive?
No.
No, it's not?
No.
Oh. Oops.
It's incomplete dominant. Yeah, it's nice.
It's very nice.
People were really excited about it. I mean, Adam messaged us and he's like, "Do you think this is going to increase the price of lace?" I'm like, "No, I think the price of lace is priced in, like of it being cool."
Right.
And he was being like a joking whatever, but maybe if you have pied and you were like bored of pied and getting ready to sell out, maybe you'll want to do this because you like the rings. So Jana, everybody else talked about this, but we're going to talk about it too. There is another person selling genetic testing in the US now.
Has anybody used them?
I've heard of people using them, but I haven't used them.
Okay.
But thank God. Okay, thank God.
There is no longer a monopoly.
Yeah, and I like RGI. Ben's and friends are nice guys, but this is all publicly available probes that this guy's using. So anybody could do it, and then we should fight for accuracy, efficiency, and speed, right?
Competition is good.
Capitalism
good in any situation. More than one is great.
All right, new discussion. The tri-stripe discussion, part 3. Jana's falling asleep. So after Arlington, KMB messaged me and was like, we talked about the tri-stripe potential problem, and I called some people and I messaged some people to get down to the nitty gritty, which is are there problems with female tri-stripes breeding? Because some people think that their females take a long time to grow up, or maybe they just don't breed at all, or maybe they reabsorb. But we have lots of evidence of females on eggs. So is it like a female problem, a line problem, or an individual problem? Still don't have all the answers, but I was like, I'm going to the sauce. So I messaged Colette from TSK, who has a mega shit ton of tri-stripe and keeps really good records. And I'm not going to read verbatim what she wrote me back because I didn't ask permission to do that. But I'm going to paraphrase it. And they said sometimes their females take a long time to lay eggs. And they have some females at this point that are older than they should have been to lay eggs. But they also have non-tri-stripe females that do that as well. So they're not convinced it's like a problem with the gene. It's just maybe a problem with the line. They're excited to continue working with it, and they think it's fine. And they're not like getting out or whatever because they have enough that do okay that it seems okay. Are there maybe some minor problems with females somehow that are making them not want to grow as much?
Like where it's breaking along the...
Yeah, we don't know. But then she dropped the bombshell. She confirmed, and they keep records, that they don't hatch females at the same rate as males. They hatch many, many more males than females. And I was like, ooh.
Oof.
Burn. Because unfortunately for all of us who are in it, that leads a little bit more credence to the idea that there might be something slightly weaker about the gene, that the homozygote would have problems. Fortunately for us. That's all I have to say about that. But I still have them, and I still think people should breed it because a lot of them do breed. We just need to work on finding females that breed and breeding out of those lines, in my opinion. Please don't come at me. Please don't sue me also. That would be great if we did not get sued. More news.
You're welcome to sue me for the nothing that I have.
I did a poll. We're hidden now. Is your acid confusion a good eater? 33% of you said he's a Chad, an absolute Sigma, taking names and eating snacks all day. 8% said virgin, who will never go on to breed because he barely eats at all. And 58%, which is a lot actually, said they were just sort of mid, on and off feed. Jana, what do you think about these results?
I think that shows that maybe there is only one line that is a bad eater, and that maybe we should be moving away from that line and not breeding it anymore, because meh is pretty standard for ball pythons. But
is it though in babies? I'd expect it in adults, but they were like, my baby will take a month off, back on for a month.
Oh, okay. When someone says meh eater, I mean it's like just like a normal eater in my brain. But I guess meh is bad.
Yeah, Reagan Renee was like, I don't understand your categories.
Yeah, like, I understood the eat a dick category and the virgin category, but the meh in my brain was like a normal eater.
Right, that's
or
fair.
A great eater or a really shitty eater. And so for the really shitty is the virgin.
I need to talk to the chat.
Yeah. So I would say that for me that looked like a positive thing, because only like 8% said that theirs was a bad eater. But if you're saying in your brain the meh could go either way, then that's troubling.
Well, the people who actually sent like a comment along with their vote were like, I voted meh because they'll eat for a while, then go on and off. And then some people didn't. Some people were like, my snake hasn't eaten since I got it, and I force feed it.
So I think that my acid was listening to our conversation, because he's in this room with me and has not eaten.
What?
2 times I have offered him rodents, and he's about to get a live ASF when he was on frozen thawed rats. So this week, if he doesn't take his frozen thawed, he's getting alive.
Because you were like, he
had never missed a meal, and now he's all of a sudden just like.
Yeah, to be clear, everybody, we still don't know if it's like a problem, but it's just like a trend. So we instead of pretending the trend does not exist, we collect data and we analyze. We should be breeding probably only the animals that are good at living. Okay, sorry.
Their acid was good the first year and then has been slow off and on quite a bit. Like I said, mine just was pounding food when I got it, and then I mean, I did okay. For fairness, I did move him up from a little gray. What are the bigger ones? 8s. From an 8 to the 35s. But he has hides, multiple hides in there. And so I guess he hasn't eaten since I moved him up a size. So I guess that, I mean, all fairness to him, that could be, he's just still like adjusting.
Yeah, he needs to learn, Jana.
He needs to learn. Yeah, get on it. Maybe I'll move him back because I really want him to get big.
The other thing, which is very random, and I'm just plugging it in right now, and we could go over this paper one day, but I wasn't mentally prepared to do it. Some animals breed better when they have less stimuli because they have nothing else to do.
So what you're saying is we should deprive all our high-end males of any stimulus, because then they get into the girls and they're like, yes.
Well, I mean, if somebody clips that out and posts that on the internet, you're getting canceled, right? so like, there's literally evidence of them being better at breeding and wanting to breed more because they have less to do. So all they do is fuck. Okay. But we still want to balance. We still want to balance ethical concerns with fucking concerns. But for your older breeders, if you know, maybe less is more in terms of during breeding season. You don't not stress them out, but like have them run their routine of going from hide to hide to hide. This is a deep moral debate, but there is evidence for that. So that's why people probably are like, simple's better, and then they just breed a bunch. Like,
I don't know what
will do that.
What other people do, and I'm not saying that this is how you have to do it or that it's the right way, but Part in biosecurity, part in like I want them to just be the only thing in there. I remove everything besides substrate and water when I put two snakes together. So if they have hides or they have enrichment or they have anything else in there, when I'm putting two together, everything comes out but cocoa blocks and water. So I don't know if that's good or bad or indifferent.
Each other. They do water sports awesomely. So if you did remove it, it'd be less to clean. They just love being on each other. It's so hot.
Yeah, or they like shit all over the hides, or like one will go in and like
get on my chest, baby.
Cover the hole to the hide with its back, so like you can't get me. So I don't let that happen either. So yeah, I just think that it's cleaner and easier to clean up when they're done. Anyway, that's
all right. I don't know why we talked about that. I forgot.
But, I forgot to.
Scat porn is not my thing, but it could be. I don't know.
Not my thing.
Where are you?
Different strokes for different folks. No judgment here.
All right, let's stroke this, Jana. So, a friend of the podcast, Chris.
Do you have permission to be sharing this?
I asked permission and I received it. Thank God. And I told him I would trade him a shout out. His business is serpent_house, which he has almost no pictures and no followers. So I gave him a mission. I was like, please put some more pictures so people will come follow. Everybody go follow him to be nice. He
doing it right now. Be like Jana.
So he said he was sold a super blackhead with a wobble without being told it had a wobble. And I was like, motherfucker. So you're the first person who I've seen so far who has preferred evidence of a super blackhead with a wobble. And I asked permission to see it. And then I asked permission to show it to you. So thank you, Chris. Mad respect. Let's watch this quick video. I know it's small, but I can't make it bigger.
Is that the adult male cinnamon that we've been all talking about? I know it's a super blackhead. I'm just teasing.
So it's not crazy, but it definitely has a wobble. So all the rumors of them having wobbles, not having wobbles, and like debates.
Yeah, it definitely.
It's not terrible. Yeah. So
it definitely was like, whoa, where am I for a hot minute?
And then I also heard a rumor a single gene spot nose was wobbling. No video though. Need evidence. Please provide. So that was troubling as always. In like the wobble continuum, I think it's probably okay to make super blackheads if the percent of wobblers is very low. Like if it only happens 1 in 100. Like I would breed lily white crescent geckos. They make a wobbler about 1 to 2% of the time, which nobody talks about enough. But I would probably still breed them because that's a rare enough probability that you can rehome to a pet home with instruction successfully and be like, it's okay. But if it's like 30% or 50% or 100% or their eyeballs are hanging out, palmetto. I don't know, Jana. What am I supposed to do? I'm a little sad, is what I'm saying. What do I do about that video?
I don't have any answers for anything, and I know nothing. And I'm definitely getting canceled this week, so sayonara.
Bohemian, please send me a video. I love videos. I love documenting. Bohemian, for the audio only people who I forget about you guys constantly. My spot nose has a wobble worse than my spider, but my cypress.
Are there even audio only listeners still?
Yeah, we have like 150, especially shout out Filipino listeners. We have like a little crew, and they're very reliable. Bless your hearts.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So people, snakes can have wobbles for lots of reasons, but since it's allelic with wobbling genes, it's possible, like if you produce too much of the protein or whatever it's coding for, you also wobble. Not just too little, too much, too little, whatever the signaling molecule is or whatever it is, too much will also do it. So that's why it's super stable wobbles also allelic. We just don't need to know the rate, to me, to decide if it's a good attempt to breed. Which makes me like, how many super chocolates wobble? How many super Wookiees wobble? We know super Cypress wobbles. We know super Bongo wobbles. We know those
Got
ones.
wobblers, everybody. Multiplayer Morph says she's listening to the older episodes on Spotify. Those are gold. So keep doing that. But these newer ones on, I've never tried to listen to them audio only. They were probably terrible.
So a spotted Cypress isn't deadly, but they seem to be very wobbly. Sometimes. Like Miguel's is pretty wobbly, and he's admitted that. But the one he sold to DPR, I think, doesn't look that bad. So I think it's variable. I mean, if it matters to you, I don't know. I want to know if like the weird ones wobble. What about Cypress Blackhead? What about Bongo Blackhead, Jana?
Oh, Bongo.
There's
Blackhead.
A Bongo Blackhead on Warp Party right now. It's awesome. So like,
sorry guys. Ooh, that's so hot.
Or if they do wobble, do they wobble at such a low rate that it doesn't matter? I just want to know. Please report. I would love it. Thank you. And thanks to Chris for sharing that video, because we've been talking about it for a year or something. Like, does a super blackhead wobble?
She's been begging for videos for a year. Thank you for fulfilling that need. Gold star. Go follow them if you haven't. I did. He's only got like 20 followers, guys. Come on, we can do better.
Mm-hmm. So there could be developmental reasons why, obviously, like disease too, to corkscrew, but we have a rumor of wobbling from just the gene, and now we have corroboration. We need more evidence of non-wobbling and wobbling to see what like the percentage is. I'm assuming it's not that high, otherwise the more people would have already talked about it.
So if it's wobbling when it's excited on feeding day, then that indicates that it does have a wobble. In my opinion, right, Jessica?
Yeah, I mean, do we want to talk about the paper?
I don't know anything about the paper, so that's up to you, girl. That's all.
It was on the notes when I was scared that we were going to run out of time. So the CT imaging that they did in the recent paper, I can bring it up. It shows it as an inner ear deformation. So they have vertigo, basically. So we've confirmed that. They're not like, their brain isn't missing something, but the input to the brain is missing something. So they all probably have inner ear.
So if I came back reincarnated as like a spider cypress or something.
What's funny, and I know Straight Blast was in here earlier. It was funny is like Straight Blast reviewed it, got a bunch of like mean comments, took his review down, and then re-uploaded it. And I saw all this, and I'm like, bless your heart, buddy. You're trying your best. But when people get opinions on the internet, you get to hear all their dumb opinions too. So shout out Straight Blast. Good job. Like his original one, he was like, it's not neurological. It's a deformation of the inner ear. But the deformation causes a neurological behavior variation. So then it is neurological. So the adjective neurological describes the aberrant behavior.
Can you say that in English for the rest of us?
Dang it. I don't know if my English button might be
what
out.
She's saying is that it's the inner ear is causing neurological symptoms. Therefore, it is neurological because you're getting a neurological presentation. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but I think he was trying to say like, well, it's not a defect of the central nervous system. So it should be fine, right? Everybody will like it. But then everyone's like, I still don't like it. And he's like, that's not what I meant. But he was... I don't know. That's what it sounded like he meant. And then when he clarified in the video, everybody go watch the clarified video and give it a boop the thumbs up button. Shout out. He made his position more clear, but to me, it's the nothing burger. Like, congratulations, your ears are fucked up instead of your brain. Ooh. I still don't necessarily think they're worth breeding because they aren't worth anything and they're hard to place. Sorry, everybody who loves it, including Jube.
I love Spider too, but I am no longer breeding it.
Jana, who pissed in your Cheerios? I don't think anybody did. They pissed in
Nobody pissed in my Cheerios. Am I being particularly? People keep saying in the comments that I'm being like all fired up and pissed off, and I don't feel like I am. I feel neutral, guys. Maybe I just drank too much Red
Oh
Bull.
my God, the man of the hour.
Oh,
Where are
we're
you?
talking about you. We should pop him on.
Yeah, do you want to come on for like 10 minutes or something?
Yeah, hit us
Antoine?
up. We'll send you the link. We
Hit
were
up
talking about
can't do
the
anything.
drama from this week. What? Oh, I can send the
Can you
link,
say,
right?
yeah.
Do I just click the up above thing? Or invite. Okay, I got it. I can do it. Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really sorry. If you don't want to come on right now, you're busy. We were trying to defend your honor. Not successfully, but
I just tried to send it to him on Instagram. Womp, womp. Oh, burn. That's
you gotta do it on Facebook.
I'm working on it.
Or don't do it. My husband's dumb. Listen, it's not my fault the corn snakes get out, okay? He says, I'm the most ethical breeder because I have free range corn snakes in the house.
And free range king snakes too.
Well, not anymore. We moved.
There was an old lady who swallowed a corn snake. I don't know why she swallowed a corn snake. There was an old lady who swallowed the king snake to eat.
Oh my
corn
God.
snake.
Well, speaking of which, let's do like collection updates for like, well, if we're waiting for Antoine. If not, we can say goodbye or whatever. But some of the levels of my black box rack do not hold corn snakes. And some of them do. Like they're not tight enough. So there's enough of a difference that's why they're out. More got out.
More.
So now I know.
I feel so good about myself. I love when your snakes get out because then I just feel like a human being again.
Yeah, I have like thousands of dollars of racks, very expensive, premium, and I have to still shove cardboard under certain stuff to keep corn snakes in because instead of like a 1/16 of an inch gap, it might be, closer to an eighth or whatever.
And
too
if
much.
their nose
Unacceptable.
Fits, they're getting out. Jessica, what kind of headphones are you wearing? I don't know if we should talk to you, Will. Will's hella.
Oh, did we get rated?
I don't know if we did. I'm purposefully not looking. I don't know. Comment below, Will. Did you
came with the blue iPhone kit? And
I came with my
or the blue microphone kit. We have the same thing.
Yeah.
Ours just don't have the stabilizer, which we should have because we're a bunch of barbarians that like punch things.
Yeah.
So I would buy that one if you want a recommendation, but you don't necessarily need this. You can get the other ones, but all of these like entry-level podcaster ones are fine. They're fine. Nobody cares.
I have mine. Jeez, I should send them to you because I think I look ugly in them. Yes, I am that vain. One day a week, I am that vain. Look. Yeah.
You should keep it just in case.
I know. They're right here with all my other stuff. I just don't use them.
Yeah, a fat ball python would solve the problem. You're correct. Oh, look!
Yay! Hi!
What's up?
We're talking about you. Were your ears buzzing?
Yeah, felt like it.
We were just talking about how differences of opinions and people that are open-minded and saying, okay, your opinion's different. Tell me why should not be canceled.
Well, what's funny about that situation is that like a lot of first-time buyers and things like that, or like people who don't have a lot of animals, when they do buy snakes from me, I actually like get them out of like the whole rack thing because obviously they don't need a rack system. So I like give them like a setup the way those people want it described. You know what I mean? So that's the funny part about the whole situation. And the fact that all of this stemmed from me making a joke and poking fun at it, at the study, is just crazy to me, because first of all, my posts are meant for my followers.
Right.
So, so the original person who made the post and over him in the video, I can't remember his name, who started this whole think piece and all of this shit about it. Like, my followers understand my humor and how I do things. So I don't think it's fair for a frog person to come onto my Instagram and call me a fucking imbecile and I shouldn't own any animals and blah, blah, blah. It's just crazy to me, man. It's this whole pile-on mentality. Dude, it's like the reptile community didn't jump on the fucking racism that happened a couple weeks ago more than this. Or the fucking, or the other bullying and all the other subjects that happened, you know? I wish fucking we spend more time on fighting these laws like Illinois is having issues with right now.
Washington, Oregon,
too, you know?
Those are both of my home state for selling ball pythons.
It's so crazy. So something that started out as a bit of humor, that was not a harmful post at all. You know, and I'm not the only person on this planet that has racks. So any random person on that post could have went to just name one breeder's there and did the same exact thing. But because I was the flavor of the day, they decided to target me. And that was crazy. So my account got reported for animal abuse and some other shit. And so
did you get any scary messages like you're a fucking bad person?
You should go
people were threatening. People were sending me DMs and threatening me and stuff like that too. And I was like, well, let me know the next show you'll be at and we can talk about it in person. Right. And then they blocked me. So
I have another question. Do you think we as the breeder community should go to Liam Sinclair and Dylan and Animals at Home and ask them to be normal, come to the table, not have their weird ethical hounds take down people, but instead engage? Because Dylan was talking to you in the chat in his comments of his post. The Animals at Home guy, he was talking to you and he was like, yeah, maybe we could talk about it. And you were talking to him and it seemed chill, but then all of their followers lost their mind.
I have no problem with Dylan at all. So let's make that for that. I don't have a problem with Liam at all either. Liam commented on my post. It was tell me you don't understand what's going on without telling me what's going on. Just some real passive aggressive type shit. Yeah. On the post, I mean, that's not helping either, Liam, you know? So, I mean, he could have reached out and messaged me and said, hey, I didn't appreciate that or whatever. But he also got slammed on Roll-the-Ball Pythons when he posted the original video. Well, no, the short 1minute and 40-second clip of the video. And if you just presenting your findings with that short video, how do you expect that to fly with people whose minds are trying to change?
Right. It was a terrible way to convince anyone of anything.
It was just, and I'm not going to get on, you know what I mean? And my post wasn't even to get on the actual full video because I watched the video, but it was just me putting out a piece of content that wasn't I knew some people were going to have something to say about it, but to get to this point where I'm getting these whole dissertations and essays in my DMs about it, it was completely unnecessary. And I feel like it's just some people out there just that need to post it and, this whole content over everything thing, you know what I mean? So, and I'm aware of that, but I don't think it should have went that far. You know what I mean? Because
absolutely not under any circumstances should it be something that they're affecting your business and your ability to promote your business when this is literally an opinion thing. You weren't harming anyone and you're not harming your snakes and there's no reason for the cancel culture when you're just going about your day aha, I thought that was funny. It's the wrong mentality.
And I'm not anti enrichment or anti-PVC or anti-taste. All that stuff can be done the right way.
Absolutely.
But if you're gonna sit here and tell me that the animals that you have came from a breeder whose snakes laid eggs in one of those type of enclosures, you've been fooled.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dude, I have ball pythons for a long time, and I've never seen a ball python lay eggs in the tank. They yes, they exist, but I've never with myself seen it. You know what I mean? So and then in my story, people got really mad about that because I posted this snake with a really bad shed and stuff like that, and it was kind of anecdotal. But I was every time I'm on Facebook and there's someone that goes, my snake isn't eating, something's wrong with my snake looks sick. I go, okay, show a picture of your setup. And
that's the first question. Shoot me a picture of your setup.
Right. But to me personally, I feel like, with a ball python, the sign of a healthy ball python is a snake that's eating. First and foremost, when a ball python's off of food, what does that tell you? Hey man, something's wrong.
Yep.
I got bad temperature, bad humidity. I don't have an adequate hiding spot. My water is dirty. It's a bunch of things that can be going on, and those are things that you need to address. Dude, there's fighting within the tub community because some people think that people's animals are in too small of enclosures, but when they move them up to the appropriate size, they quit eating. But when they put them back to a smaller size tub, they eat just fine. So now you have to get put on. You have to now decide whether you want your animal to get put in the enclosure that appeases everybody else and it hasn't eaten a meal in 6 months, or do you want to put in something smaller so now it's eating and it's healthier?
Absolutely.
There's always that balance. There has to be a happy medium somewhere, but people don't. This is just like people's political posts. There's always going to be far left people and far right people, and no matter who's in office, no matter how bad their president fucks up, they will never admit that their president is fucking up.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's be like gentle here. I'm going to ask this question.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be mean, but do you think the story was a little bit mean, inflammatory, like
What
implying that the post, like they're crunchy because that's their setup or whatever? That post, like the bad shed, would make them feel like you think that they also can't take care of their snakes correctly.
No, because it wasn't an all people's thing. It was just like a lot of people. Because I have a reel like that too. I have a reel like that a while back where I was saying like it was the people telling me about tubs and stuff like that, who animals have 3 layers of eye caps and stuff like that too.
Right.
Yeah, it was me. It was poking fun at it, and I see how it could jab a little bit, but I mean, there's people who have animals in tubs that have shitty sheds too.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that. Like,
we talked
I have
about
an
that.
expensive
Like,
ARS rack with problems.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's
right. It wasn't fair what happened to you, but I like could see how they were like, this guy's just telling me I'm a bad person, but he's a bad person, so I'm gonna fucking block him. Because the pet keepers, instead of like engaging or calling each other, they're just like report. So they will.
And that's and it is what it is at this point. Like I'm not here to change anybody's minds and move them to one way or another. Like that's not my job. My thing is, if to me, is your animal healthy? If you look at this animal and you present it to the world, does it have bubbles come out of his mouth? Is his face swollen from mouth rot? Does it have eye caps? Does it have an even shed? Is it eating? Is it thriving? That's not that different. You know what I mean? Like those criteria, I feel like if you're meeting those criteria, then that means you're good with me. You know what I mean? Like dude, I've seen people with these elaborate setups with their animals that are doing great. Good on them. Mm-hmm. Like what kind of asshole would I be if I was like, oh, look at them spending all this time and money and extra stuff on their animals? Like you got to be a certain kind of freaking idiot to even feel that way about people. You know what I mean? And it's just weird, and there's a lot of games. Like I'll be 41 years old in a couple of weeks, man. And to me, this is just so childish, man. Like this is worse than high school, It
is. The community has turned into high school or even middle school. Like middle school girls is the whole community is. And like we talked about earlier, you probably didn't catch it, but we were talking about how like, are you ethically keeping?
Right.
Is that the word that you picked, Jessica, or did we switch the word?
I like humane because
are you humanely keeping? And so what is humane for me may not be what's humane for someone else.
Absolutely.
And you can take what you want and leave the rest. You're like you said, if they're in a healthy condition, if they're eating, if their humidity's right, if their sheds are good, if they have clean water, like if you're meeting their basic needs, the rest is like politics. Like you decide, and that's a personal thing that every person needs to do their own research and they need to decide on their own. And it should not be about, oh, I don't like the way you keep snakes, so I'm canceling you. Like,
and also
really,
there's people who hate all of us on the third side of the coin, so to speak, that's just watching us fight within each other and it's just rubbing their hands going, yes, destroy each other from the inside. We don't have to do anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They don't. Just sit back and wait. We're all going to kill each other.
Exactly.
It's like every freaking week there's this huge drama. And this week's one was so, like, it was so kindergarten. Like, let's cancel him because he thinks that what you're talking about is silly. That's basically what you said.
So people felt like I kind of was downplaying their cause and stuff like that too. It's just, but so.
Did you?
I'm not apologizing for the post. Let's get that clear. I will not apologize for that post. Will I admit that that a lot of people that were a little bit more sensitive to the situation, I could have hurt some of their feelings. Yeah, I admit that, but that wasn't my intention. My intention was not to hurt anyone's feelings or piss anyone off or make anyone angry. The purpose of that, it was outright. It was a sliding board in the Rubik's Cube and some LED lights. That was to me, I decided to put something super extreme. I didn't Photoshop climbing trees in there and nothing like that. I put a sliding board. That's not even realistic.
Well, like my take on that was that you were trying to make light of the drama that was happening rather than like poking at anyone's side. I think you were just being like, this is a little ridiculous, so I'm going to be a little ridiculous. That we're fighting about something that literally is personal choice or personal preference.
And this thing is always going to happen. There's always going to be factions of our hobby and our industry where there's going to be infighting like this too. Dude, the cut versus no cut people are even is crazier than this. Like, there's a Facebook group dedicated to banning breeders who cut their eggs early. And there's like a list of like, do not buy from the following people. And it's like it's like all the breeders.
Yeah, basically.
It's I looked at that list, I was like, everyone's on here.
They should really have a list of who doesn't cut. It would be much smaller.
I think the group is called like Promoting Natural Pipping, and a lot of people in the group like have all their females like
it sounds like a hippie commune you would go to
producing
like
them on their
naked yoga.
Yeah, so I mean, like this isn't the only like versus battle in our reptile industry. You know, there's plenty of them out there. You know what I mean? So there's so I don't know, man. It's just a weird situation, and I just hope that cooler heads will prevail during all of this. I think Ryan McVeigh is about to post a video on it too. He's talked about it in his story on Facebook or whatever. So, and I saw Liam's YouTube video clip pop up responding to Billy's whole thing too. I haven't watched that yet. So, you know, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. If I don't get my Instagram account back, I'm just gonna move all my content to Patreon and just move it that way. So, you know,
have you tried the trick where you like message someone on Facebook to get Meta to respond to you because they won't really message you back?
Yeah, well, I got a couple of people that I know that work for Instagram that's on it now too. Okay. So
good, awesome.
And I'm trying to get exactly who reported my page. So
well, I hope you get your page back.
So I'm hoping. So I'm
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So, but I'm not gonna hold you guys up. What's going on with you guys? You know, I watch you all the time, and I love what you guys are doing. Like, I'm super big fan. I'm super big fans of you two, and I'm just sorry that it took this for me to finally get on your show.
We'll have you back for something more positive.
But you know, when all
this crazy.
But when all this dies down, I don't even want to give out my new Instagram because they're gonna attack Daleville.
Right? Yeah, don't give it out. No, it's all right. We'll bring you back whenever the dust is settled and share what happened after.
Yeah, but but with that said, I hope everybody has an awesome weekend and enjoy these animals, and you know what I mean, and do exactly what you started to come out this industry to do, you know, as far as like promoting the health of these animals and, you know, just showing them off and keep doing your thing, man. You know, like there's enough room for everybody. You know what I mean? So
here.
Yeah. So love and light and
positivity. And all the happy, warm, fuzzy feelings.
And talk to you guys later, okay?
All right. Thank you for coming
on. All right, bye.
Bye.
All right. I think we're done, Jana. We did it. What a beautiful cap.
Yay.
Hopefully
he popped on.
Yeah, hopefully he gets his thing back. Yeah.
And we'll have to have him on in a different context because, gosh, the drama, guys. Like literally on a weekly basis, it feels like this whole year. Jessica and I were like, we're just gonna send all the money back to our sponsors. We're just gonna cancel.
I'm moving to Aruba on the money.
We're gonna sell all of our animals. And what did you say you're gonna breed? Like glow in the dark shrimp?
Yeah, I'm gonna breed like a fancy shrimp in a swamp somewhere.
It's getting to be too much, and they're just it's exhausting. It's so exhausting.
Jana's gonna leave me. Jana's gonna leave me, everybody.
School, and I hated middle school, and like during high school when it started to get way worse, I was like, peace out, I'm just gonna do it online, and it's cool, you guys do you and your drama. Like I'm not a drama person, and it feels like that is what our hobby has become, and it's so exhausting. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to help it.
Naked
make it
yoga retreat.
Naked
Now that I
yoga
think
retreat.
about it.
Like, how can you not have a civilized difference of opinion discussion when you're naked and your ass is in the air?
Yeah, you look at someone's testicles hanging way too low, and you're like, "You're really hot over there." I can tell. This is naked yoga, and like a sauna, and you'll just be like,
It'll be fun.
It's
We'll
fine.
host a HRP naked retreat. Who's coming?
Could you imagine? Could it be
Oh,
like
for sure
Costa
some words.
Rica or something fun?
Yes.
Well,
So we
lots
can go naked herping in the
Fuck
jungle.
yeah. Oh god, we might get like worms though. Maybe not.
Yeah.
There.
Definitely not.
Disgusting. All right. It was disgusting being here. Thank you for coming. We have 70 people. I love all of you. Take care of your animals in every way you see fit and love them.
Like,
love each other.
subscribe,
Bye.
share, all the things. We'll talk to you guys next
You're
week.
beautiful. Jana
Nah.
too. Also.
Yeah. Oh, I love you
Thank
too. Oh, wait, this way.